Did you know that recently a Venezuelan naval ship attacked a cruise ship and lost? The Venezuelan ship collided into the cruise ship, which had a reinforced hull for sailing icy waters, so it was more armored than the naval ship that ended up sinking, which I think is pretty ironic. The U.S. got involved and sent a few Navy ships, and that was that. The benefit of knowing this information is learning another example of socialism gone bad. I watched a video about the cruise ship sinking a Venezuelan ship, and that made me want to research more into why Venezuela would do something like that. And I found out that Venezuela is in crisis right now, and they have many reasons of attacking that ship. Reportedly, Venezuela thought they had mercenaries on board to attack them, but they could have resorted to piracy and tried to steal food and supplies for their starving people. Venezuela is in desperate need for survival. In my speech, I will talk about what led to Venezuela's downfall. Venezuela is an oil-rich country, and oil has made Venezuela leaders corrupt because they are getting richer and the people are getting poorer. People aren't buying oil right now because of the pandemic, and Venezuela's economy has completely crashed because of it. Venezuela's leader right now, Maduro, the regime man in charge, put Venezuela in the crisis they are in now. Maduro has reportedly violated human rights, and supposedly he printed so much money to where Venezuela is going in this economic downfall. Desperate times are calling for desperate measures. There are food and medicine shortages in Venezuela. They have the supply for oil, but there's no demand for it, so they cannot trade for food or medicine. Their people are starving. They don't have the right treatment for the pandemic widespread. I believe they were trying to steal supplies from the cruise ship because it is basically a floating town in the middle of the ocean. So I think they could have resorted to piracy. They could have resorted to crashing into them to try to steal supplies. What they said is completely different than what other people believe, but I mean, it is what it is. There's an economic crash, something that could happen across the world during this pandemic, and it is hitting Venezuela hard because of their dependence on oil. The companies are closing down because of COVID. The unemployment is through the roof. People are being less and less productive, and they're just rotting away seemingly. Pray for Venezuela because they need it. And to conclude, the Venezuelan government is on their toes, and it is looking at a possible overthrow, and Maduro sounds like the kind of man to do whatever it takes to stay in charge. Venezuela is desperate for survival, and Maduro is desperately trying to keep himself in charge. Maybe it's time for a revolution.